Hey guys, welcome back. This is Automatic for the Collector. Eric here, and I wanted to do a video. This is going to be a kind of a special one. It's got a theme to it, and the theme is going to end up being with this item as the object of my video that I'm going to talk about at the end. And I'm not going to tell you exactly what it is about this item, how it fits in with the theme until the end. But anyways, I was thinking for this video, I'm going to do a kind of a mini showcase on two players. And those players are the hobby darlings Lou Gehrig and Babe Ruth. And I know many of you guys like the Yankees, like Babe Ruth, like Lou Gehrig. And so I'm going to show you some cards of theirs. I'm going to show you modern stuff. I'm going to show you a few vintage items, some really cool things, and a couple non-card items that I have related to Ruth and Gehrig. And then lastly, I'm going to explain why this item right here spurred me to want to do the video on Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig. So before I get to that, I do have one other item of business I wanted to get to. And I told Adam at Vintage Sanctuary on one of his videos, I made a comment. And I told him that one thing I really enjoy about his channel is his sense of humor. If you haven't already noticed, I kind of like to laugh and sometimes do some quirky, weird sense of humor things. And a lot of the times the things that I do that I think are funny, I make myself laugh, even if nobody else thinks they're funny. And so a couple weeks ago, I was just doing things around the house, and this idea for a joke popped into my head. And I thought this would be right up the alley for Adam at Vintage Sanctuary. So I told him in one of my upcoming videos I would do it just for him. And so on that note, did you guys happen to hear the rumor going around about the Braves potentially signing Manny Machado next year to play on the team with the Braves? Yeah, I thought that was a great idea, but what I heard was they weren't wanting to sign him because of his playing abilities. I heard the whole reason they wanted to sign Machado was so they could put him in the batting order right behind Ronald Acuna Jr. And so that way the announcers, every time those two players come up, they can go, Acuna Machado. All right, guys, stick around. I'm going to turn it around and show you some cool items. Okay, guys. First thing I want to do is just show you some kind of inexpensive cards of both Lou Gehrig and Babe Ruth that I have, that I pulled out for this video. They're out of modern product, so they're not expensive cards, but they're cool cards nonetheless. And the first one I'm going to show you is this Allen and Ginter card, Pastimes. And this has a real neat image of Lou Gehrig, and the black and white card goes real good with the Yankees uniform there. I like Allen and Ginter and Gypsy Queen cards a lot, especially the way they feature these old players. And I just think they're really nice looking most of the time. I guess how I have this set up, I'm going to do Lou Gehrig first and then show some Babe Ruth cards out of the modern stuff. But the next one here is a Gypsy Queen card. This is probably one of my favorites I'm going to show you out of this group of modern cards featuring Gehrig and Ruth. I just like the image there on this one. And if I'm thinking correctly, I think a lot of these Gypsy Queen cards that feature some of the old-time players. I don't know if it was this way every single year, but I know like the ones that are near the end of the set, like this one's numbered 310, are short prints. So they're, I guess, a little bit more sought after than the average card in those sets. The next one is another favorite of mine. It's just based on the way the card looks, and that's this card, which is modeled after the 1960 Topps design. And I think this one, just the colors, the green, yellow, and white, somehow just makes the card really stand out and be vibrant. These colors just are magnificent on this card. The pictures are cool. The design, based on the 60 Topps, it all fits together really well. So, and this one here, I'm pretty certain came out of Topps archives. But there's the back, and the back is just like the 1960 cards looked. The next one is also a Topps Archives card of Lou Gehrig. Here he is pictured standing in the dugout. And this one is based on the 1979 Topps design. And we'll turn it over, and you can see the back on this also is just like it would have appeared on the 79 Topps cards. Okay, now I'm going to do a transition. We're moving from Lou Gehrig into Babe Ruth territory, still with modern cards, but I'm going to do this transition this way. We're going to go from Gehrig to Ruth by showing a card featuring both of them together. And this is one of those cards that I guess was the base Topps design for whatever year this was. I didn't happen to look and see what year it was, but card featuring the old-time players. I'm not sure if this one is a short print card or not. Actually, it might be some sort of insert. It says 3 of 5. I didn't do any research looking into this before making the video. I just pulled it out since it was going to fit with this theme. But regardless of if it's a short print or... I know it's not rare or anything, but it's just a cool card regardless. Here's a Babe Ruth, Allen and Ginter card from 2013, and I like how he kind of just pops out in the white background of this one. And then next is another really cool looking card from Gypsy Queen. And I believe this also is a short print card. I just like the photo, the image pictured on this one here. It looks like this one came out of 2020 Gypsy Queen. So anyways, I'll show that one more time, let y'all get a good look. Okay. Now the last two modern cards I'm going to show you are kind of shiny, more shiny, vibrant cards. This one here is out of Topps Stadium Club. I don't know if I should say Topps Stadium Club. It's just kind of known as Stadium Club now. But anyways, this is just a really cool picture with all those bats lined up. And this is one of those many variations they do now where they've got the different colored foil variations going on. And this is the red one. And there's the back of it. And then one more shiny card out of the modern stuff. This is a Topps, kind of like an insert from one year. I believe it's 2011. I'm going to take it out of its top loader real quick so I can maybe avoid a little bit of the glare and get a little bit more of the shine for you. But I don't really remember what these inserts are called. And again, I didn't go in and do research before this video to get all the details on all these. I figured you'd just more appreciate seeing the cards than having all the fine details worked out. But I really like the glimmer and the different colors, the shine on this. It's just a really cool looking card. There's the back of it. As you can see, it's some sort of insert. Okay, now the next few items I have to show you are more in the vintage line or the non-sports card line of stuff. And the first one actually is not a vintage item, but it's based on a vintage item. This is something I got a few months ago when I was at a little antique store, and I didn't know exactly what it was, but it's a pencil topper, a pencil or pen topper. And apparently when I went on the internet trying to figure out exactly what this was, I discovered these originally came with, I believe it was Quaker Oats back in 1935. I believe that's the year it was. And obviously this one here is like a reproduction. I think it's in way too good a shape, and the colors are all nice and bright and vibrant. And so anyways, I'm about 100% certain this is just a remake of one of those original items they did back then. But I was hoping when I bought it, it was going to be a rare piece, and I was going to make hundreds of dollars on it, but I knew it was too good to be true. It really didn't have that vintage look that an item from the 30s would have. But again, it's a cool little item nonetheless. So I thought you guys would like seeing that. Get it in there one more time. Get close up. I'm just playing around with you. Okay. So the next two items I have are vintage items, and they're both vintage cards. One is a card, one is not. But this next one is a card I have of Lou Gehrig from 1961 Golden Press. And someone else did a video not too long ago, and I can't remember off the top of my head who it was that stated this was one of their favorite Lou Gehrig images on vintage cards. And whoever that was that said it, I'm sorry I don't remember, but I do agree with you. This is just a really cool picture. The colors are vibrant on it, and I think it's just a great card. And one of those that's not nearly as expensive as when you get back to his cards from the 30s and back in his playing days. It's not super cheap, but it's more affordable for sure. But this one here is in pretty good condition, and I thought this would fit right in with the video today. Okay, the next item I have is also another Lou Gehrig item. I think I have more Lou Gehrig stuff than I do Babe Ruth, as you're going to see here. But this item here I got in an auction years ago, and this is a little pin. It's from 1938, our national game. And most of the little pins in that set were more of common players. There were two major stars in it, like two really big names. And the two biggest names in that set were Joe DiMaggio and Lou Gehrig. And Lou Gehrig is definitely the one I would want the most from this set. I do have a couple other pins from this Our National Game set. The others I have don't have the original backing with them. I just have the pins themselves. But being that this has the pin and the original back that it came with, I'm just really thrilled to have this. There's how the little pins fits into that little slit there, and the back doesn't have anything on it, but really happy to have this piece. This really nice little item, great vintage item of Lou Gehrig there. Okay, now the next item I have to show you is something I got many years ago at a bookstore, and it's this book on Lou Gehrig, and it's a little hardback book, and I'm assuming this is a first printing of this. Lou Gehrig, A Quiet Hero. And when I opened it up before doing this video, just to look at it again, I couldn't remember off the top of my head what year this was printed, but it looks like it's 1942 is when this book came out. And so I thought this was just a fabulous item to feature here in this video. Okay, now that brings me, those are all the different items I had to show you for Gehrig and Ruth. Before going back to the item I held up at the beginning. And now I'm going to show you why I did this video on Gehrig and Ruth and how this bottle here fits in with it. Many years ago, I was at a recycling center in the town I lived in, and I was throwing away some paper items, and when I looked in the bin, there was all sorts of just old paper material thrown away that was really cool stuff. There was a bunch of old postcards, there was a bunch of old newspapers, and I quickly grabbed as much as I could reach out of there and threw it in a box or whatever I had with me and took it back home and started sorting through it. But that is actually how I got into collecting postcards, was finding all those cool old postcards in that recycling bin that day. But to get to the point of this jar, or this bottle here, is these newspapers were in that stack of paper material that had been recycled, and some of it was so old that it was just literally crumbling and falling apart. And so I tried to salvage some of the cool stuff out of it that was worth saving, but I really didn't know what to do with it because it was literally just crumbling to pieces. And so around that time, I was also getting interested in doing some arts and crafts type projects. And I made this bottle here with some of that newspaper and just kind of Mod Podged it around. But the way it fits in with Ruth and Gehrig is here on one of the pages, it talks about the Yankees, and it it mentions Ruth and Gehrig in here. It mentions them a few times. Yeah, Babe Ruth, Ruth and Gehrig. It's got an ad for Wilco Coffee. I always enjoyed the band Wilco, so I thought that was cool. And then on this other side, it's got a thing that mentions the Pirates outslug Giants. And then on this side, it mentions the Atlanta Crackers, which was like a minor league team back in those days. But the paper on this side is dated June 14th, 1929. And I'm pretty sure all of these pieces came from that same paper. So anyways, you're looking at a paper mentioning Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig from 1929 there. And so I've been wanting to show this for a little while, and I thought this would be a perfect opportunity. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed the showcase today. I know Gehrig and Ruth appeal to a lot of people, so if you know of anybody that's interested in those players, let them know and tell them about the video. And as always, I appreciate all of you watching. I appreciate your support. And lastly, I want to thank Shane from Shoebox Legends in his one of his last videos shouting out my channel. He brought a lot of people my way, and I really do appreciate it. So, guys, you have a good day, and we will talk to you later. Take care.